What's up, guys? We are back with another Gundam Universe review. We're taking a look at a Gundam from a series that I started watching and then I just sort of lost track and never finished it, so I really don't know a great deal about this one. But today we're taking a look at the Gundam Barbatos from Iron Blooded Orphans. We've got this guy here in the standard package for the line, so you've got the window with the white background showcasing the figure, but you've got some red accents to kind of play off of some of the colors on the mobile suit itself. Artwork down there on the bottom, and then the back of the package has got more artwork and then some product shots that showcase how it moves around, as well as a bit of a cross-sell. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Gundam Barbatos from the Iron Blooded Orphans show. So this is an interesting one. He is kind of weird, really, in a few ways. And this is definitely not a series that I'm a huge fan of. I never actually finished it. And I'm not a huge fan of this mobile suit either. So this one's kind of an odd figure for me. I'm definitely all in on this line, so I want to really get all of these and just have a wide array of mobile suits. And this is a way to get into it, to get stuff that I'm really not a huge fan of. I do think it looks pretty cool though, and that's really why I got it. So we're going to take a look, see how he moves around. He's kind of standard for this line, really nothing too crazy. So you've got a head that can look up slightly and he can look down a little bit. You've got a little tilt side to side, and then you do have rotation. He does not really want to go all the way around because of just hitting things all over the suit. You've got movable shoulder pads here. Arms go out. They do, of course, rotate at the shoulder. You're going to have to contend with the shoulder pad though. You've got a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows give you a pretty good range of motion, better than 90 degrees. You've got a ball peg at the wrist, so you can do a little bit of hinge, up and down, side to side, and then rotation. You've got a waist twist here, pretty much unencumbered, I'd say. It looks pretty good. I haven't had any issues moving him around. You can go backwards a little bit. You can go forwards a decent bit. None of these truly have a great crunch on them just because of what they are, but this one moves pretty well, especially forward. And then you've got a little tilt side to side. Legs go out pretty much all the way. They kick forward pretty good, but you do have to twist the leg because you do have a ball peg there. It's just a ball peg that goes out, and then you can twist a little bit at that peg, and you can move these pieces here to help accommodate that. The knees are where this guy really suffers though, and that's about as much as you can do. If you watch it, you'll hit the backpack thing here. It just doesn't want to move all that far because it starts to hit the sculpt almost as soon as you get it to about 90 degrees. So you'll get about 90, and that's about it. There is nothing else anywhere on the shin. You've got a ball peg that goes down into the foot down here, and you can twist it. You can hear the squeakiness on that. And then you do have a pretty good hinge, really. Well, it's not a hinge, but you know what I mean. The hinging action of the ball. But it gets stopped because of the crazy spikes on the foot here. So you can rotate really well. And you could hinge better, but you can't. You do have a really solid rocker though, so there's really nothing getting in the way until you just start hitting pieces and parts. So he moves about as well as any other figure in this line, but he definitely has some hindrances. He certainly isn't 100% fluid, but he's a big robot, so I kind of give him a pass. The knees on this guy though, they just kind of suck. As far as the overall looks on this guy though, I think for the most part, he looks pretty good. There are a couple things that definitely stick out to me as kind of odd, and maybe it's my lack of knowledge or experience with this show and this suit that's making me see things to be kind of weird, but I could swear that some things on this figure are too big. Namely, the shoulder pads, they look exceptionally large. They are definitely not small in the show by any means, or on the model kits or anything like that. They are a little bit more bulbousy in some ways, but these things are huge. They're massive, and they look way oversized. So do the feet, and again, this is another thing where they are also a little bit bigger in the show and on some of the kits, but these just look, they don't look scaled to the figure to me. Something about them seems really weird, and they also don't help with moving him either. Of course, the ends of the feet aren't articulated or anything, but if you want to try to get him in a running pose, these big Sideshow Bob style feet really don't do him any justice. The rest of the figure though, I think looks good just from an aesthetics perspective. I do like this suit in a general sense. I think it looks pretty cool. It's still very standard Gundam, just sort of modernized, if that makes any sense. It definitely looks like a normal Gundam, just from a more recent show. If I didn't know any better, I would say, hey, this is probably something that came out within the past
relatively few years. There is a decent bit of paint on this figure, which is a little bit different from some of the others. So you've got a lot of reds and yellows, which are all really, really clean. I have zero issues, nor do I think I've had any issues with paint slop of any kind in this line, and that kind of goes forward with this figure as well. You've got the backpack here for the boosters, which you have to pop on, and you've just got a nice, very angular sculpt on this guy. I think he looks just plain cool. He, of course, does have some weird things going on, though, but I like the design on this figure. I like the overall design of this suit. I do like the metallic blue chest plate as well. It's a kind of subtle. It picks up the light pretty well, though, and it kind of breaks it up a little bit from all of the... It's not stark white. It's certainly not white like the Wing Gundam is. It's got a little bit of beige to it almost as far as the base color of the suit. And one thing I truly like about this figure, normally I don't care for this kind of thing, but I think it looks cool on this guy, is the humongous V on the forehead, on the head there. I think it looks really fantastic, and it's got a nice glossy sheen to it. It's just huge. In comparison to this and this down here, I like the fact that that thing's kind of oversized. I like the red for the beard, and you've got those really, really bright, vibrant green eyes. So I think he does look really cool. The sculpt is pretty good on him, outside of the fact that I do think that up top and down below, there are a few things that are just a little bit oversized. I'm not sure if I can exactly put my finger on it, because again, I don't have tons of experience with this suit, but I could swear that something's a little off there. Now, as far as accessories goes, this guy has kind of the essentials for this particular suit. It's basically what I expected to get, and it's pretty run-of-the-mill for this particular line. So you kind of have his main weaponry as far as melee stuff goes. So you've got the big one, literally and figuratively. You've got the big mace spear type of thing here, which honestly isn't as cumbersome as it seems. It is definitely top heavy, but he holds it pretty well. It's devoid of paint. It has nothing on it, but it looks really cool. You can't deny the fact that it's a cool looking weapon. And then he's also got his big literal long sword here. Again, same kind of situation as the big mace spear thing. There's no paint on it, just a little bit of sculpt work on it. If I do have one issue with this, though, is that the actual handle is really thick, and it's really hard to get this in his hands. This fits in there just fine. It comes apart so you can pop it in, but this, you actually kind of have to stretch the hands out a little bit, so you might want to try heating it up. It's not a huge thing, but it's definitely a thing. And then he's got some replacement hands, which I've already got on him. So you've got a set of gripping hands to replace the fists that come on him in the package. And then just like all the other figures in the line so far, which I don't have a way to demo, he has a Tamashii stand adapter for the mobile suit stand. So you've got all the normal stuff really when it comes to this figure, but I really do like these. I just wish they had maybe had a little touch of something to make them pop a little bit. So overall, this figure's pretty good, but he's not without his faults by any means. He definitely has a little hindrance when it comes to articulation, specifically at those knees. The rest of the figure moves pretty well, especially in comparison to the Wave 1 figures, but he does have some weirdness with what I think are oversized shoulder pads and feet. I would love to know if people are in agreement with me on that one, just to get some clarification, because again, I'm not all that familiar. I do think that the suit in a general sense looks pretty good. Everything as far as paint on this guy is really cleanly applied, and he just looks cool when he's holding those really massive weapons. That big mace spear thing in particular is very imposing and daunting and striking, and certainly is an eye catcher when he's holding on to it. So that's going to do it for this look at the Gundam Universe Barbatos. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.